What's up, everybody? Welcome to TSP TV. Now, it's a little bit of a Wednesday walkabout video we got going now, and I am out. Look at this. It's a beautiful sunshiny day. You hear the birds singing. There's that cool house across the street from me that some of you like. Trees are starting to be in full bloom, and that is another purpose of this little video as well. I mean, goodness, this isn't any scenery that you haven't seen before, possibly, if you've been catching my walkabout videos. But I've knocked up a little bit of a camera rig harness thing to my crossbody bag. Hello there. And anyway, so basically, sorry, there's a lady walking by with some dogs. So basically what I did is I kind of MacGyvered myself a little bit of a camera bag with some equipment and stuff, in hopes to sort of be able to get a better streaming experience at the protests that I've been going to. So this is a little dummy run to see if or not it is any better. Unfortunately, I can't show you the rig itself unless I take a picture of it, which I'll try and do later and insert in the editing section of this video. So as you can see, we're having a little bit of a walk around here, and spring, I do believe, might quite well be already here. So look at that beautiful blue skies. But what this also does is give me like a point of view kind of deal for you, not point of view pornography, but point of view walkabouts. And also it gives me a hands-free option, so I don't have to carry the selfie stick. And stupid as it sounds, after a little while, that selfie stick does get a little bit warm. Now, it didn't say it was going to be as warm as it's feeling right now, and I'm a little bit overdressed. Hello. But that's the hospital up ahead, St. Joseph's. It's terrible. You can see over there, there's a pile of dead bodies that they're just so overwhelmed with. There's no rooms in the morgue, and the smell and the stench of the COVID victims. But I'm not going to show you guys, it's just too disturbing. Take my word for it, it's horrible. And there's like, you can just hear the wailing sirens and the screams of despair. And let's just not look at it, because the stench of COVID-19 is just rancid coming out of this hospital. So I did want to protect you from seeing those horrific, horrendous sights. Oh my God! A nurse just jumped out of the window. She was so overwhelmed and couldn't take it. There weren't enough ventilators, and our supervisor didn't get her a mask, I heard her saying before she jumped. Sorry about that, guys. Oh my God. They're jumping to their death from St. Joseph's hospitals. These poor, overwhelmed health workers. Now, I'm not saying anything about health workers being part of the conspiracy. They're just doing their job. But anyway, this is just terrible, horrendous. Oh my God, there's more bodies being burnt there. Let's look at the bodies. There you go, you can see the big pile of bodies there. That's not flattening the curve at all. Not flattening the curve. So I can see a lot of people are out walking dogs, despite the fact that, you know, there is all these dead bodies lining up on the yard outside of this hospital here in Toronto. And it's getting a bit windy now. but you can see the flags flying at half-mast. There's a lineup of hearses down the road. You just can't see any ends to the line of hearses, and just look at all those ambulances coming, wailing now on their way to the hospital with hundreds and thousands of COVID-19 victims. And let's just look, the doors are just, there's no room, they can't get through the doors here at St. Joseph's Hospital in Toronto. So let's walk through the car park, trying to avoid as much people as we possibly can. And it's a very old, cool looking building. Kind of like to be there if the shit hits the fan. We could relocate into that building. It could be our headquarters, our branch Davidian's Waco compound here in Toronto. But anyway, coming through, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through all these cars lined up for the car park here, trying to bring the COVID victims to the hospital. So oh yeah, there's another bonfire just behind this fence. There's probably at least 10,000 bodies there just piled up on top, just no room for them. The morgues are overrun, and as you can see here, all these hearses lined up in between the ambulances, and just listen to those children and mothers wailing at fathers and loved ones that have possibly died. Oh my god, there's another one. They just jumped out of the window here. Looks like two doctors and a nurse jumped hand in hand, saying we need more masks. And it is terrible, guys. This is just dire situation. This is the apocalypse. And all those foolish people that believe that this is a conspiracy and there is no virus and they're going to the streets and protest. What absolute idiots. Look for yourself, people. Here it is. Here is your COVID pandemic. There are people dying everywhere. Look, even here in the neighborhood, people are putting loved ones' bodies on the street because there's just nowhere for them to go. The morgues have no room. When there's no room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. And this is what we're seeing. There's just the foul stench of burning bodies in decomposition. I think I said that right, but yeah, it's just horrible. And just in this walkabout, we've seen 4 healthcare workers jump to the death. We've seen probably at least, you saw the doors there at the hospital overflowing with victims. And people, stop going to the protest, stop thinking for yourself, stop having critical opinions of your own and questioning things that you're being told that may not make sense. Believe what I'm saying. I'm showing you. Can't you see what you're seeing here, people? We just walked through a hospital, and that was just one example here of the hundreds of millions of people that are creating the curve to never flatten. And I'm sick and tired of smelling dead bodies in the air. I'm sick and tired of hearing wailing, desperate people who have lost loved ones. I'm tired of hearing about overwhelmed workers not able to handle it. And it makes me sick to think that people would question what they're being told and try to find answers of their own. Here it is, people. I've just provided you 100% proof that the curve is real, that there are bodies everywhere dying in the hospital. So we are getting a little bit out of the kind of grounds in the area of the hospital, and I don't know if you can see ahead, beautiful blue skies, and the blue glistening water of Lake Ontario. Now this homeboy over here, look, check him, he's got his shirt off. And I'm actually kind of wishing that I'd stayed at home and got my shirt off and got some vitamin D instead of doing this little bit of a walkabout for you. But it is important to show you that the curve is real, people. Stop thinking it isn't. Stop questioning your government. Stop going to protests and thinking that you're making a difference in the world, because the government, they're the ones making the difference. Bill Gates with his desperate, never-ending hours and hours of manpower put into hope, trying to find this vaccine and this cure for this deadly common cold, Corona-19 virus. And again, look, this is a car park. Oh dear God, oh my God, people. That was what looked like a civilian jumping off the top. Obviously, maybe they just lost a loved one, or maybe they were contaminated. Maybe they were taking the final solution into their own hands and like, you know what, I just can't bear to infect 30 people. I'm gonna just kill myself. It's better one dies than 30. So it's sad, tragic scenes here at St. Joseph's Hospital, and I really didn't expect to be bringing you footage of doctors and nurses and civilians jumping from tall buildings to their death. But here we go. There's a little bit of a panoramic for you. I don't know how this camera is working out or not, if it's smoother. It does seem a little bit wobbly my end, but hopefully it's a little bit smoother, and at least it's kind of giving my arms not so much of a hardship. But I might even be able to jump on a streetcar. It looks like there's one coming up behind me, so maybe if I get some pace to me, I might be able to jump on it and get myself to the Dollarama. I need to go and pick up a couple of little things I've been meaning to get for the last few days, but the weather unfortunately hasn't been nice today, until today. I thought, you know what, let's get out, a little bit of exercise, fresh air in your lungs, some vitamin D. But really, I kind of wish I was sat in my yard smoking a fat one. I'm also wearing a body warmer, which is a little bit too warm for these conditions. So finally, days when you're overdressed are beginning to descend, and yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going to make the race to beat the streetcar. There it is, although that does take me to a different Dollarama. So I was hoping maybe around here by the corner where the McDonald's is, I might be able to jump on it and get myself to Dollarama, grab what I need to do, and start setting up for Wednesday night's live feed, night 3, spring break. But it is a beautiful day, and who knows, maybe we might try and get out. And you can see that bridge there that we're looking at, and this is another thing I can kind of like pan around, as my body can be the dolly. It's a little bit better, I guess, when I'm stable than walking, and unfortunately, you know, when you are walking, there is going to be some kind of movement to oh yeah, and there was the other streetcar that I did want to try and jump on, so never mind. But as I said, I did want to kind of give this a little bit of a experiment, see how it works. I only got buses running as well, that's unfortunate. I guess that's because so few people are using transportation these days. They don't feel the need to run streetcars all the time. So I don't know if you can also tell people that there are a lot of folks out today. And although you are seeing some masks, not that many. People are enjoying the sunshine. People are enjoying their little dose of vitamin D. And it's not as busy as normal. But this little intersection here is seeing a little bit more kind of traffic than I've seen previously on walkabouts. You know, these people, you're not going to flatten the curve this way, stay at home, quarantine. Oh God, there's people jumping out of the hotel windows now. Lucky we missed that, but that's the Howard Johnson here in Monsonville. But as I said, people are there, no exception to the virus. Let me see if I can see a streetcar coming. No, I can't. So there you go, guys. The beautiful spring-like weather has arrived. And I might wait in the shade. We'll try and cross the road and finish up looking out at the lake for you. And keep walking. We might be able to get a streetcar by the next stop. So I've got, what, 10 seconds to cross the road. 6, 5, I've got 3 seconds to save the world. Oh well, shit out of luck, kaboom. Anyway, yeah, people are out. See a few people sat on the benches. What looks to be a dude smoking over there, and I can actually get a little aroma of the marijuana in the air there, so that's probably what he's doing, stopping, having a little toke. There's the pigeon lady. You may have seen her before on a couple of these videos that I've done walkabout, and as I said, this is a route that you've seen before. It's the Polish War Memorial, the Easy restaurant. It's actually not there anymore. The Easy Rider restaurant is that Peter Fonda from Easy Rider. Family out getting some ice cream by the look of things, enjoying some sunshine. So this is what I wanted to kind of come and show you here. Was the Polish War Museum, memorial rather, not museum. My apologies there. And it's actually a beautiful looking monument, to be honest with you, and very smooth, beautiful. Not sure what it is. Oh, see that? It's a fucking jihadi pigeon. He's trying to 9/11 me. And that is another thing you might want to look up: aircraft and bird strikes. A bird, a little bird like that, if that were to hit the nose cone of a jumbo jet or maybe a Boeing 777, it would dent the shit out of it, causing the plane to fall to bits. But on 9/11, Pinocchio's nose, look it up for yourself, folks. An aluminum nose cone of a 777 penetrated not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 solid blocks of steel, reinforced steel, I should also mention. And come out the other side without as much as a dent. So there's a guy down here feeding the birds. And there is a streetcar and there is a stop coming up. Although it is only like a couple of blocks to the Dollarama, I don't live that far away from it. And you can see there the pigeons having a little picnic. People enjoying some sunshine. More people with dogs. But let's have a little look. Come over here and see there's the beautiful water of Lake Ontario. Oh, that's the Tobacco over there, that little high-rise that you can see in the distance, and that's going to be an all singing, all dancing, smart city beach community here in Toronto. And we do have beaches, unfortunately just not the weather to really warrant a beach community. You only get maybe 4, possibly 5 months good weather a year, and that's why you're seeing people out today. We've been starved since Saturday of sunshine. It's been almost as dark as night and very, very wet, very, very humid, but still some of the leaves on the trees are yet to sprout. We're still in those kind of early days. But another good thing about this is getting your exercise, vitamin D, and the fresh oxygen. All these brand new leaves and plants that are coming to light, they're putting out the freshest source of oxygen you could possibly get. Brand new life coming into the world as all the flowers and plants after winter are starting to stand up and feel the warm rays of the sunshine, and a little bit like humanity right now. We are seeing in these protests, these movements, these lockdown people rising in their numbers, not just here in Toronto. You guys should know, you've seen some of my Toronto footage, hopefully. Quite a few people are watching those live feeds. There is a quest and a thirst for this knowledge. People are interested, people want to see what's going on, and that's why I do honest reporting, unlike this satirical parody that hopefully you did get the gist of that when we were walking through the hospital. Sometimes they say there is never a truer word than that said in jest, and a little bit of humor is also a good tonic. Having a laugh and a smile is as good as getting some vitamin D, some dopamine for the sun, getting your fresh oxygen from your plant life, reconnecting with nature, grounding. It is actually warm enough that I could be, as I said, tanning in the backyard barefoot, feeling the energy of the rays of the sun, feeling the energy of the earth. That shit, people, you may think it's hippie new wave. That is real. We are connected to the earth. The earth is connected to us. We are symbiotic. Relationship in harmony with nature and surrounding, and our little movement, the freedomists. We need to be in harmony, in unity, and at one with each other and at one with nature, because all tools are needed, all weapons, all links in the armor are welcome at this fledgling building the foundations, rather, founding fathers and sisters, brothers, mothers of this freedomist movement. What we're seeing, these lockdowns, we've got to kind of remember this isn't about lockdowns anymore. This is about the removal of freedom, the removal of rights, and the removal of liberty. What's up? So anyway, sorry, lots of people out. It is a nice day. People are taking to the streets, getting some exercise, and it's good to see. I've done a couple of these walkabouts down to the Dollarama before, and it has been like a ghost town. But then again, sometimes weather does determine whether or not people go out, and it does determine if or not people stay home. I don't want to go out when it's cold, wet, grey and miserable, and you kind of end up sort of complying unwillingly, just because there's no real reason to go out. If you've got no job, it's not much fun getting exercise in the howling wind and the pouring rain. Let me give you a little look at some of these cool houses. This property here, Lakeshore, or Lakeview, should I say, houses and properties, real estate, is among some of the expensivest here in Toronto. And you do got a pretty decent view to look out on, instead of the cityscape, which we possibly will be seeing as we round the corner. So I guess we are walking our way to the Dollarama, so maybe we can see what the lineup at the community communist socialist chow hall, commissary store rather, here. People in imprisonment or people in prisons, they have to buy their food at commissary. And here now in the new normal, that's what civilians have to do that are not locked up in prison. They have to come and wait outside the commissary here at the no frills. Security guard will let them in one at a time. They may or may not be required to wear masks on entry, and they will be restricted to the amount of items that they can buy, just like in prison in your commissary items. Something I had to live off of for a little while was commissary. Although I didn't have anyone putting money on my books, I had to hustle a little bit to earn my zums and whams. But here people are getting a little handout. Someone's putting their money on the books. That someone is the government. And now people, as I say, they get their 1 hour a day yard time in some countries, some states. You're not allowed out unless it's for exercise, groceries, or medication. So just like prison, sometimes you only get 1 hour a day yard time. Sometimes you only get one day a week. They let you out for a couple of hours of yard time. It does vary from incarceration facility to incarceration facility, just like it varies from state to state, country to country. We have people on lockdown, enforced quarantines, shelter in place, no flights in, no flights out. Don't leave your home unless you're essential. Some people are having to download, documentation, essential employee, essential worker identification papers from the internet, and get their bosses to sign it. If they are requested to show this, they have to present it to let the authorities who may be questioning why they're out as to why or not they are indeed essential. What does this sound like to you people? National Socialism in Nazi Germany back in the 30s, when people of a certain race had to have identification, documentation, where identifying symbols on their clothing in order to be compared from what was deemed God's perfect race and non-essential people to the God's perfect race. So, as I say, guys, these are things we're seeing. What we have to remember, that National Socialism was socialism. There's very little. When the tips of the wing touch, they are almost identical. Left wing and right wing in their extremities are pretty much the flip side of both coins. There is no difference, the illusion of freedom. But as I said, guys, the National Socialist movement was socialism. They were socialist for their national cause. And what we are trying to be led and driven into under these pandemic conditions, all these emergency laws and acts that are put in place that supersede governmental legislation and stuff like that. Let's cross the road. So I want to go and have a little look at the Buddhist temple. Let's get a little bit of a peaceful, calming ASMR sensation, I guess, for want of a better word. And I did feel that once upon a time I did almost have a little calling for Buddhism. And the other reason, because there were people on the side of the road and I kind of don't want to keep stopping and starting. But we are being introduced into a global state of socialism. Part of the one world order is they want to be able to remove poverty. They're not going to remove it, they're just going to eradicate it. And by eradicating it, that might be to make sure some of the people in the lower levels of the scales of life don't get the things they need in order to survive, and maybe starve them out slowly, just like the National Socialists did in the camps. They didn't want to use the gas all the time and keep the furnaces burning, because that does cost some money, does dent your profits, certainly. But they used to starve them to death as well. They used to experiment, see how long it would take before they started dying of hunger. And is that going to be something that people are going to be experiencing? Already a few guys that have been considered non-essential right now, they're beginning to struggle, feel the pinch, maybe not having as much food in the pantry as they once did. And it's not too late, guys. If you do have the ability and the ways and means, you can get yourself out to the Dollarama, maybe the No Frills if you're not too worried about waiting online. You can even do some online prepping if you need to do that. But something I did notice on the Walmart website, online shopping, again, only some available items are limited. You know, like milk, you can only have 2. Eggs, you can only have 2. Socialism, people, is here. Open your eyes. And this is the one world socialism, the global citizen campaign. They all want us global citizens, chipped in pins, the mark of the beast, barcode tattoos, stuff like that. Now there's a lad over there from England in an Aston Villa shirt. Maybe once upon a time that might be enough to inspire some fisticuffs, and at the very, very least, some verbal abuse and ridicule, possibly of your mothers and brothers and sisters. But harmony, guys. We've got to live in harmony. We've got to start unifying. We've got to put difference aside, reject politics, embrace a new movement of freedomist harmony, peace and unity, where we are all on the same page, working as one for the same things. Oh, bless her. There's a little thing like chair 7:30 for the health workers. Nice little sign there. And that lad had a pair of Dasslers on. Level entry gazelles. They're the sort of first shoe you'll buy as an Adidas enthusiast, until real enthusiasts ridicule you for having here, but they're just gazelles. But gazelles are a little bit of a nice shoe, not one of my favourite Addies, but didn't know how to lace them either. Shocking. One of those things. So guys, it actually looks, there's one person still does. I was going to say, it doesn't look as though there's a lineup at the Dollarama, not the Dollarama, the No Frills. There's your commissary. We're on lockdown. That's where you go get your zooms and whams from. We are going to just come and have a little look around here at the Buddhist temple. It's a nice building as well. And certainly now we've got some trees and stuff. And here's one of the monks, look, coming out. So here it is, this temple. We have seen this before. And as I say, you just almost immediately feel a sense of calm, or I do anyway, and almost well-being. So there's a nice little building, maybe a message, a little expression of unity and harmony, I guess. So let's cross over the road. There's some people behind me, and we're gonna wrap this shit up, guys. So as I said, what they got? Oh look, somebody's got a big ghost up there. Let's go and look and see what that is before we come back down. Because at the start of this pandemic, I guess it is a campaign. It's the elites campaign to lead us into dystopian, totalitarian, draconian society. Always watching, always tracking, always tracing. But when this did start, I seen a few people started putting things like Christmas lights up to try and lighten the mood. And I suggested, hey, you know what, let's put some Halloween decorations up. It's a little bit scary. Pandemic seemed more Halloween than Christmas to me. But it looks like here, let's cross the road because it's a little bit shake. Guys, that sun is warm. I could definitely be getting some rays and some tanning going on. Those first early layers of the base tan that you need to get into the skin before you can really start to tan. I've got to burn off all that shitty winter skin, the dead skin, and get some fresh layers of skin, get that vitamin D, get that dopamine into the system. And someone's got a little banner up there It says Stay Strong Parkdale. So I don't know if or not you can see the big ghost ahead. And the giant big inflatable ghost, and actually it's a pretty cool house. I'd imagine that'd be wicked at Halloween. That's weird. I really just got a waft of vagina and there's no females around. So someone's got some stinky flaps if I can smell it from the street and our windows open. No shit, I'm not just making that up. Wow. Something I haven't smelt for a while. But anyway, there you go. Look, there's a cool ghost and it is a really cool building. And that's nice, a little bit of welcome shade. It is much warmer than I anticipated when I left my basement. And there's one of the Parkdale condo buildings. But as I said, guys, look at that. That is pretty wicked, and it's a really cool house. You can imagine that would look super cool at Halloween time with it all dressed out. Oh, look. There's a mask, look. It's probably one of the health workers that jumped out of the building. They probably work here. Come home, they were just so overwhelmed that seeing that many dead bodies each and every day, they just jumped out the window, tossed their mask. Maybe they passed the mask on, pay it forward, someone can use that themselves. Sad times. So lucky no people were jumping out of this building as of yet. So luckily, maybe people in Parkdale are a little bit more resilient than they were down in Romsey. In Romsey, you do see a few, I guess, beta male types in weird kind of non-binary one-sex families carrying kids around in radio flyer carts rather than strollers. Whoops, nearly got run over, but they got brakes. That's what they put them on cars to stop. And pedestrians actually do have right of way here in Toronto, or in Canada in general, but that is much warmer than I anticipated. And as I said, guys, I think I should have possibly put this off till tomorrow, but I did want to try and see how this little rig setup I got going on worked, and did want to give in an experiment. And as I said, guys, a little bit of vitamin D doesn't exactly hurt, so I might be able to grab what I can from Dollarama and maybe get an hour in the sun before we set up for the live feed tonight. So we'll come back again. It's a mattress, look there, if anyone wants one. Some trasher. Some nice yellow stains on it as well. God knows what else is on there, but if you're not fussy, not picky, get yourself a free bed down here, Parkdale. It's across the street. That might have been the person with the smelly vagina, although I doubt it because it was a bit further up the road. But I don't know if that sounds like a person that would have a likelihood of having stinky flaps. But there again is the little temple, and with the blue skies and the leaves starting to come to life, it's a wonderful tranquil spot. I don't know if you can come to the temple. Maybe I'd like to go to a service one day, just out of kind of curiosity. Perhaps maybe my dear friend Tenzin, TT from work, she's a Buddhist, she might take me to the temple, and sometimes we talk about what she gets up to. And, believe it or not, she sings, I think, in part of her community. Peaceful people, the Tibetans. They live in some more of harmony, just like the Buddhists. They try and spread harmony, and that's what I'm saying, guys. A little bit of that kind of, we need to take influences and strength from everything we can right now. The more we have in our arsenal, the better prepared we are spiritually, mentally, and physically. So yeah, shit, yo, there is a lineup at the No Frills. I don't know if you can see in the distance there, the tip of the tower just poking up behind those trees. And well, I've seen longer lines at the No Frills. So let's have a look there. And that's what I'm talking about, the buses. They've replaced streetcars for buses. Less people are using public transportation due to the fact they're staying in. What the fuck's going on here? Almost makes you wish that the lockdown conditions were still being complied with. You could walk and have the streets to yourself pretty much a few weeks ago, but it does seem to be a few more folks out and about, and I don't know if you can see that there. That's where I'm heading, the Dollarama, somewhere we've been many times before. And I actually think during the spring break last year we did a little bit of a walkabout video. So you know what, I don't even need to get down to the crossing. I can walk straight across. So guys, thanks for watching this Wednesday walkabout ship video production, experimenting with my new hands-free camera gig. So I don't know what that boy was doing, whether he's coughing at me because I was in his way, but let's finish there with some nice looking street art on the side of the wall here at the Dollarama. As I said, guys, it is a shit video production. It is an outside broadcast for TSP TV. See you in the next one. Till then, keep it thrifty, and remember, be excellent to each other.